Tens of thousands of people have been ordered to evacuate their homes as a wildfire spreads rapidly in the hillsides of Los Angeles. The flames have been fanned by a fierce windstorm that hit Southern California on Tuesday, and forecasters say the conditions could last for days. Fire has consumed more than 5 square kilometers of the Pacific Palisades area in western LA, and firefighters are struggling to keep it from spreading. Authorities say many buildings have already been destroyed. Jayson Compadonia is a journalist with NBC and iHeartRadio in Los Angeles. Welcome to the program. So, Jayson, give us an update on the situation right now.
Right now, the fire is at about 1,200 acres burned, a little bit more than that. But the winds in the area are really the story. Wind gusts of up to 40 to 60 miles an hour this afternoon. Later tonight, wind gusts are expected to be about 100 miles an hour. And the issue here that firefighters are facing are what's called the ember cast. So an ember from a palm tree or something to that effect in the Pacific Palisades may get caught by the winds and then go up to about 3 miles away and start another fire. And then an ember from that fire starts another fire. And what it does is that spreads the firefighters really, really thin. Right now, there's about a couple of hundred firefighting personnel from firefighting crews around Southern California who are there to help. But we've learned in just the past couple of minutes that some of the embers are actually catching lifeguard towers on fire. So there's nothing else on the beach except sand and a lifeguard tower. And that ember found that lifeguard tower somehow, some way, and now it's being burned to the ground. So it's very, very difficult for firefighters to be quicker than the wind.
And of course, that's also putting many people at risk. And our current numbers indicate that 30,000 residents are under evacuation orders. Do we know how they're being helped?
Right now, they're being told to do exactly what they're being told to do. Earlier today, we saw people trying to get out of the Pacific Palisades. And unfortunately, the roads there are very narrow. They weren't built with a mass evacuation in mind. And people were at some points ditching their cars and running down the road to safety with suitcases of their life in there. And that's all they had. And then something I have never seen, having covered fires for the past 2 decades here in LA, is fire crews had to bring in bulldozers to bulldoze all of the abandoned cars off of the roadway in order to get more people to safety. So fire crews have opened up evacuation centers, which is a normal practice here in Southern California, and people are just being asked to avoid the area. If you don't need to go there, if you don't live there, if you're not picking up somebody like an elderly parent or a disabled sibling, something to that effect, stay out of the area, stay away. And they're just trying to get them as much food and water as possible. Now we have to worry about air quality in the area as well.
Now, as you indicated in your last answer, California is no stranger to fires, but how unusual is the challenge that firefighters are facing right now?
So these wind gusts of up to 100 miles an hour later this evening are going to be hard, but we haven't seen wind gusts like that in probably about a decade, and we haven't had any significant rainfall. So up in Northern California, they're getting drenched, but in Southern California, we're not getting any rain down here, and there's none predicted in the near forecast. So this is creating a very dangerous fuel for these fires. It's very dry, and there's no help from Mother Nature in sight. So what fire crews have been doing is they've been pulling in other resources from other parts of the country. They've set up strike teams just in case to see, okay, it may get hot over here. It may, be combustible more over here. So they've had strike teams in place, and they hit this thing this morning with everything they had. It's just, again, it's not fast enough.
Well, as we were just saying there, the weather forecast doesn't seem to be helping the firefighters. So is there any indication when they will be able to get these blazes under control?
So the high winds are supposed to stick around the rest of the week, maybe until Thursday night, possibly Friday morning here in Southern California. So this fire is probably going to be fueled over the next few days. When they actually get some containment, I'm guessing maybe the weekend when fire crews are able to get some surrounding areas calmed down and maybe get a handle on this thing. But it looks like fire crews are going to be on this thing for a while, especially if we're seeing houses go down and more people being evacuated. Malibu just burned a couple of weeks ago, and that's right next door. So there, it may hit that burn scar and not have any more fuel, and that might help as well.
All right, that was journalist Jayson Compadonia in Los Angeles. Thank you very much for your reporting.
Thank you.